Living with integrity in today's world can feel like an uphill battle. Every day, we're bombarded with distractions, temptations, and pressures that pull us away from our values. But what if there was a way to navigate this chaos with clarity, purpose, and unwavering strength? Enter Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has stood the test of time, offering practical wisdom for living a life of integrity. Stoicism isn't just about enduring hardship, it's about thriving with principles that guide your actions, decisions, and relationships. In this video, we'll explore 30 Stoic rules that can help you build a life rooted in integrity, no matter what challenges come your way. These timeless principles will show you how to stay true to yourself, act with purpose, and live in alignment with your deepest values. So, if you're ready to transform the way you approach life, let's dive into these 30 Stoic rules for living with integrity. Now, let's begin with the first Stoic rule: focus on what you can control. At the heart of Stoicism lies a simple yet profound idea: some things are within our power and others are not. What we can control are our thoughts, our actions, and the choices we make. These are the areas where we have true agency. On the other hand, external events, the opinions of others, and even the outcomes of our efforts are often beyond our control. The Stoics believed that wasting energy on things we cannot change only leads to frustration and distraction. Instead, they encouraged us to direct our focus inward to the things we can influence. This principle is a cornerstone of living with integrity. When we focus on what we can control, we align our actions with our values. For example, if someone criticizes you, you can't control their words, but you can control how you respond. Do you react with anger, or do you choose to respond with calmness and clarity? By focusing on your response, you stay true to yourself and act in a way that reflects your principles. This mindset not only reduces stress but also strengthens your character. It reminds you that integrity isn't about controlling the world around you, it's about mastering your own mind and choices. Think about it this way: life is like a ship sailing through unpredictable waters. You can't control the wind or the waves, but you can adjust the sails and steer the ship. By focusing on what you can control, you navigate life with purpose and resilience, no matter the storms you face. This is how Stoicism helps us build a life of integrity, one thoughtful, intentional choice at a time. Now let's move to the second Stoic rule: practice self-discipline. Self-discipline is the bridge between our intentions and our actions. It's what allows us to stay committed to our values, even when faced with distractions or temptations. The Stoics believed that self-discipline isn't about depriving ourselves, but about aligning our actions with what truly matters. It's the practice of saying no to immediate gratification so we can say yes to long-term fulfillment. Think of self-discipline as a muscle. It grows stronger with consistent use. Every time you resist the urge to procrastinate, indulge in unhealthy habits, or act impulsively, you're strengthening your ability to stay true to your principles. For example, imagine you've set a goal to wake up early and exercise. When the alarm goes off, it's tempting to hit snooze and stay in bed. But self-discipline is what pushes you to get up even when it's hard. Over time, this small act of discipline builds momentum, helping you stay consistent and focused on your goals. Daily habits are the foundation of self-discipline. Start with something simple, like setting aside 10 minutes each morning to reflect on your priorities for the day. This practice, known as morning reflection, helps you stay grounded and intentional. Another powerful habit is journaling. Writing down your thoughts and actions at the end of the day allows you to review where you succeeded and where you can improve. It's a way to hold yourself accountable and learn from your experiences. Self-discipline also extends to how we manage our time and energy. The Stoics emphasized the importance of focusing on what truly matters and letting go of distractions. This might mean limiting time spent on social media, saying no to commitments that don't align with your values, or prioritizing tasks that contribute to your long-term growth. By practicing self-discipline in these small, everyday choices, you build the resilience and integrity needed to navigate life's challenges. Ultimately, self-discipline isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about making consistent, intentional choices that reflect your values even when it's difficult. And as you cultivate this habit, you'll find that staying true to your principles becomes second nature. This is how Stoicism teaches us to live with integrity, not through grand gestures, but through the quiet, steady practice of self-discipline. Next, we'll explore the third Stoic rule: embrace virtue as the highest good. This principle takes us deeper into the core of Stoic philosophy, showing us why living virtuously is the ultimate path to a life of integrity. Now, let's turn our attention to the third Stoic rule: embrace virtue as the highest good. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies the belief that virtue is the ultimate measure of a good life. But what exactly does virtue mean in the Stoic sense? It's not just about being morally upright. It's about cultivating four key qualities: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues serve as the pillars of a life lived with integrity, guiding our thoughts, actions, and decisions in every moment. Wisdom is the ability to see things as they truly are, free from distortion or bias. It's about making thoughtful, informed choices that align with our values. Courage, on the other hand, isn't just about physical bravery, it's the strength to face challenges, stand up for what's right, and persevere even when the path is difficult. Justice is about treating others with fairness and respect, recognizing our shared humanity and acting in ways that benefit the greater good. And temperance is the practice of self-control, finding balance in all areas of life and avoiding excess. For the Stoics, living virtuously wasn't just an ideal, it was the very purpose of life. They believed that by embodying these virtues, we align ourselves with nature and our true selves, creating a foundation of integrity that nothing can shake. This is why virtue was considered the highest good. Unlike wealth, fame, or power, which are fleeting and outside our control, virtue is something we can cultivate within ourselves, no matter our circumstances. History offers us inspiring examples of Stoics who lived by these principles. Take Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who ruled with wisdom and justice, even as he faced immense challenges during his reign. His personal writings, collected in Meditations, reveal a man deeply committed to self-reflection and virtue, striving to lead with integrity in every decision. Then there's Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the most influential Stoic teachers. Despite his humble beginnings, Epictetus taught that true freedom comes from mastering our own minds and living in accordance with virtue. These stories remind us that living virtuously isn't about achieving perfection. It's about making a conscious effort to align our actions with what's right, even when it's hard. It's about choosing courage over fear, justice over self-interest, and temperance over indulgence. When we embrace virtue as the highest good, we build a life of integrity that stands the test of time. Next, we'll explore the fourth Stoic rule: accept what you cannot change. This principle invites us to embrace life's uncertainties with grace and resilience, showing us how to find peace even in the face of adversity. Now let's move into the fourth Stoic rule: accept what you cannot change. This principle is rooted in the Stoic concept of amor fati, which translates to love of fate. At its core, amor fati is about embracing everything that happens in life, both the good and the bad, as necessary and meaningful. It's not about passively resigning to circumstances, but about actively choosing to see every event as an opportunity for growth and learning. The Stoics believed that much of life is outside our control. We can't dictate the weather, the actions of others, or even many of the challenges that come our way. What we can control, however, is how we respond to these events. By accepting what we cannot change, we free ourselves from unnecessary frustration and resistance, allowing us to focus our energy on what truly matters, our own thoughts, actions, and choices. Imagine you're stuck in traffic. You can't control the cars around you or the delays ahead, but you can control how you react. Do you let frustration take over, or do you use the time to reflect, listen to something meaningful, or simply breathe and reset? This is amor fati in action, finding value in the moment, even when it's not what you planned. Accepting what we cannot change also strengthens our integrity. When we stop fighting against reality, we align ourselves with truth. We stop wasting energy on things we can't influence and instead channel it into areas where we can make a difference. This doesn't mean we ignore problems or avoid taking action when necessary. It means we approach challenges with clarity and calm, focusing on solutions rather than complaints. So, how can we apply this rule in difficult situations? Start by practicing awareness. When something unexpected happens, pause and ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, remind yourself that resisting it will only drain your energy. Instead, try to find the lesson or opportunity within the situation. Maybe it's a chance to practice patience, resilience, or creativity. Another practical way to embrace amor fati is through daily reflection. At the end of each day, take a few moments to review what happened, both the good and the bad. Reflect on how you responded and consider how you might approach similar situations in the future with greater acceptance and grace. Over time, this practice helps you build a mindset of resilience and adaptability. By accepting what we cannot change, we not only strengthen our integrity but also cultivate a deeper sense of peace. We learn to navigate life's uncertainties with confidence, knowing that our true power lies in how we choose to respond. Next, we'll explore the fifth Stoic rule: live in accordance with nature. This principle invites us to align our actions with the natural order of the world and our own inner truth, creating a life of authenticity and harmony. Now let's turn our attention to the fifth Stoic rule: live in accordance with nature. This principle is one of the cornerstones of Stoic philosophy, and it invites us to align our lives with the natural order of the world and our own inner truth. At its heart, living in accordance with nature means understanding and embracing the way things are, both externally and internally, and using that understanding to guide our actions and decisions. When the Stoics spoke of nature, they weren't just referring to the physical world around us, the trees, the rivers, or the changing seasons. They also meant the nature of humanity, the essence of who we are as individuals. To live in harmony with nature, then, is to live authentically, in tune with our own values, strengths, and purpose. It's about recognizing that we are part of a larger whole and that our actions should reflect that interconnectedness. Externally, living in accordance with nature means accepting the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. It's about understanding that change is inevitable, that challenges are a natural part of life, and that we must adapt to the ebb and flow of circumstances. For example, just as a tree bends in the wind rather than resisting it, we too can learn to be flexible and resilient in the face of life's uncertainties. Internally, this rule calls us to align with our true selves, our core values, virtues, and sense of purpose. It's about living a life that feels genuine and meaningful, rather than one shaped by external pressures or societal expectations. When we act in ways that are true to who we are, we cultivate integrity. We become more consistent in our actions, more reliable in our relationships, and more at peace with ourselves. So, how can we put this principle into practice? Start by reflecting on your values. What matters most to you? What kind of person do you want to be? Once you have a clear sense of your inner nature, strive to align your daily actions with those values. This might mean making choices that prioritize honesty over convenience, courage over comfort, or kindness over indifference. Another way to live in accordance with nature is to embrace simplicity. The Stoics believed that excess, whether in possessions, desires, or distractions, distances us from our true nature. By simplifying our lives, we create space to focus on what truly matters. This doesn't mean rejecting all modern comforts, but rather being mindful of what we bring into our lives and ensuring it aligns with our values and goals. Living in harmony with nature also means recognizing our role within the larger world. We are not isolated individuals, but part of a vast, interconnected web of life. When we act with this awareness, we naturally treat others with respect, kindness, and fairness. We understand that our actions have consequences, not just for ourselves, but for the world around us. By aligning our lives with nature, both external and internal, we create a foundation for authenticity and integrity. We learn to live with greater purpose, resilience, and peace, knowing that we are acting in harmony with the world and our true selves. Next, we'll explore the sixth Stoic rule, cultivate inner peace. This principle teaches us how to find tranquility by focusing on our inner world rather than being swept away by external circumstances. Now let's shift our focus to the sixth Stoic rule, cultivate inner peace. This principle is all about finding tranquility within ourselves, no matter what's happening around us. The Stoics believed that true peace doesn't come from controlling external events because, let's face it, we can't control everything, but from mastering our own thoughts and emotions. Think of it this way: life is like a stormy sea. The waves, our external circumstances, are constantly shifting, sometimes calm, sometimes chaotic. But beneath the surface, there's a deep, steady current, our inner world. By focusing on that inner current, we can remain calm and centered, even when the waves are crashing around us. So, how do we cultivate this inner peace? One powerful technique is journaling. The Stoics were big believers in writing as a way to reflect on their thoughts and emotions. By putting your feelings on paper, you create space to process them. You can ask yourself questions like, what's bothering me right now? Is it within my control? If not, how can I let it go? Journaling helps you gain clarity and perspective, turning chaos into calm. Another effective practice is meditation. This doesn't have to mean sitting cross-legged for hours. It can be as simple as taking a few minutes each day to focus on your breath or observe your thoughts without judgment. Meditation trains your mind to stay present, reducing the noise of worry and distraction. Over time, this practice builds a sense of inner stillness that stays with you even in challenging moments. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of perspective. When we're caught up in the heat of the moment, it's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. But by stepping back and asking, will this matter in a week, a year, 5 years, we can often see that many of our worries are temporary. This shift in perspective helps us let go of unnecessary stress and focus on what truly matters. Finally, cultivating inner peace means practicing acceptance. The Stoics taught us to accept what we cannot change and to focus our energy on what we can. This doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It means choosing where to direct your efforts wisely. When you stop fighting against things you can't control, you free up mental and emotional energy to focus on what you can influence, creating a sense of calm and empowerment. By focusing on your inner world through journaling, meditation, perspective, and acceptance, you can build a foundation of peace that remains steady, no matter what life throws your way. Next, we'll explore the seventh Stoic rule, practice gratitude daily. This principle shows us how shifting our focus to what we already have can transform our mindset and strengthen our integrity. Moving forward, let's dive into the seventh Stoic rule, practice gratitude daily. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you, it's a mindset, a way of seeing the world that shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already have. The Stoics understood that gratitude is a powerful tool for maintaining perspective and living with integrity. When we practice gratitude, we train our minds to appreciate the present moment and recognize the value in even the smallest things. Imagine waking up each morning and taking a moment to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. It could be something as simple as a warm cup of coffee, a kind word from a friend, or even the opportunity to face a new day. This simple practice can transform your mindset, helping you start your day with positivity and clarity. Gratitude reminds us that life, even with its challenges, is filled with moments worth cherishing. But gratitude isn't just about feeling good, it also strengthens our relationships. When we express appreciation for others, we acknowledge their efforts and contributions, fostering deeper connections. Think about how it feels when someone genuinely thanks you for something you've done. It creates a sense of mutual respect and trust, which are essential for healthy, meaningful relationships. The Stoics believed that treating others with gratitude reflects our own integrity, showing that we value and honor the people in our lives. Gratitude also helps us navigate difficult times. When faced with setbacks or disappointments, focusing on what we're grateful for can provide a sense of balance. For example, if you're dealing with a tough day at work, reflecting on the support of your loved ones or the lessons you're learning can help you stay grounded. This shift in perspective doesn't erase the challenges, but it gives us the strength to face them with resilience and grace. To incorporate gratitude into your daily life, try keeping a gratitude journal. Each evening, write down 3 things you're thankful for. Over time, you'll notice how this practice trains your mind to seek out the good, even in the midst of chaos. You can also make it a habit to express gratitude to others, whether it's a heartfelt thank you note, a kind word, or simply taking a moment to appreciate someone's presence in your life. By practicing gratitude daily, we not only cultivate a more positive mindset but also reinforce our commitment to living with integrity. It's a reminder that even in a world full of uncertainty, there's always something to be grateful for. Next, we'll explore the 8th Stoic rule: be mindful of your judgments. This principle teaches us how our perceptions shape our reality and how reassessing our judgments can lead to clearer, more ethical decision-making. Now let's turn our attention to the 8th Stoic rule: be mindful of your judgments. The Stoics believed that our judgments, our interpretations of events, people, and situations, are the root of much of our emotional turmoil. It's not the events themselves that disturb us, but rather how we perceive and judge them. This insight is incredibly powerful because it places the responsibility for our emotional state squarely in our hands. By becoming more aware of our judgments, we can take control of our reactions and make decisions that align with our values and integrity. Think about it this way: when something happens, we often jump to conclusions or assign meaning to it without fully understanding the situation. For example, if someone cancels plans with you, you might immediately assume they don't value your time or friendship. But what if there's a perfectly reasonable explanation, like an unexpected work deadline or a family emergency? By pausing and reassessing your initial judgment, you can avoid unnecessary frustration and respond with understanding and compassion. The Stoics taught that our judgments are like filters through which we see the world. If those filters are clouded by assumptions, biases, or negative thinking, our decisions and actions will reflect that distortion. But when we take the time to examine our judgments, we can clear those filters and see things more objectively. This doesn't mean ignoring your feelings or pretending everything is fine. It means acknowledging your emotions while also questioning whether your interpretation of the situation is accurate and fair. One practical way to practice this rule is to adopt a habit of reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to review your interactions and decisions. Ask yourself, did I make any snap judgments today? Were they based on facts or assumptions? How did those judgments influence my actions? This kind of self-awareness helps you identify patterns in your thinking and gives you the opportunity to adjust your approach in the future. Another key aspect of being mindful of your judgments is recognizing that you don't have all the information. The Stoics emphasized humility and the understanding that our perspective is limited. When you catch yourself making a quick judgment, remind yourself that there may be factors you're unaware of. This mindset encourages patience and openness, qualities that are essential for ethical decision-making. By reassessing our judgments, we not only reduce emotional turmoil but also create space for clearer, more thoughtful choices. This practice aligns perfectly with living a life of integrity, as it encourages us to act from a place of understanding and fairness rather than reactivity or bias. It's a reminder that we have the power to shape our experiences by choosing how we interpret the world around us. Next, we'll explore the 9th Stoic rule, act with purpose. This principle focuses on the importance of intentionality and how aligning our actions with our values ensures that we live with integrity and clarity. Now, let's shift our focus to the 9th Stoic rule, act with purpose. The Stoics placed great importance on intentionality, the idea that every action we take should be guided by a clear sense of purpose. This principle is about more than just going through the motions. It's about ensuring that our actions reflect our deepest values and contribute to a life of integrity. When we act with purpose, we move through the world with clarity and direction, making choices that are aligned with who we truly are and what we stand for. To act with purpose means to live deliberately, not passively. It's about asking yourself why you're doing what you're doing and whether it serves a greater good. For example, consider how you spend your time each day. Are your actions driven by habit, convenience, or external pressures, or are they rooted in your core values and long-term goals? The Stoics believed that a life without purpose is a life wasted, and they encouraged us to constantly evaluate our actions to ensure they're meaningful and aligned with our principles. One way to practice acting with purpose is by setting meaningful goals. These aren't just any goals, they're goals that resonate with your values and contribute to your growth as a person. For instance, instead of aiming to simply earn more money, you might set a goal to use your skills to help others or to create something that adds value to the world. The Stoics would argue that a goal like this not only gives you direction but also strengthens your sense of integrity, as it ties your actions to something larger than yourself. Another example is in how we approach relationships. Acting with purpose in this context means being intentional about how we treat others. Are we showing kindness and respect because it's the right thing to do, or are we doing it out of obligation or expectation? The Stoics would encourage us to choose the former, to act with genuine care and consideration, not because we have to, but because it aligns with our values and helps us live with integrity. The beauty of acting with purpose is that it transforms even the smallest actions into opportunities for growth and self-expression. Whether it's how you start your day, how you handle a difficult conversation, or how you pursue your passions, every moment becomes a chance to live in alignment with your values. This doesn't mean every action has to be grand or life-changing. It simply means being mindful of the intention behind what you do. By acting with purpose, we not only live more authentically, but also create a sense of fulfillment and direction in our lives. It's a reminder that integrity isn't just about avoiding wrongdoing, it's about actively choosing to do what's right, even when no one is watching. When we align our actions with our values, we build a life that's not only meaningful but also deeply satisfying. Next, we'll explore the 10th Stoic rule, avoid excess and moderation. This principle teaches us how to find balance in all areas of life, ensuring that we live with integrity and self-control. Now let's turn our attention to the 10th Stoic rule, avoid excess and moderation. The Stoics believed that temperance, the practice of self-restraint and moderation, was essential for living a balanced and virtuous life. This principle isn't about denying yourself pleasure or living a life of deprivation. Instead, it's about finding harmony in all areas of life, ensuring that nothing is taken to extremes. By avoiding excess, we maintain control over our desires and actions, which in turn strengthens our integrity. Think about how excess can creep into various aspects of life, whether it's overindulging in food, spending too much time on distractions, or even overworking ourselves. The Stoics warn that these extremes can lead to imbalance, making it harder to stay true to our values. For example, overindulgence in material possessions might provide temporary satisfaction, but it often leads to stress, dissatisfaction, and a sense of emptiness. On the other hand, practicing moderation allows us to enjoy life's pleasures without becoming enslaved by them. One practical way to practice moderation is by setting clear boundaries. This could mean limiting screen time, creating a budget to manage spending, or even scheduling regular breaks to avoid burnout. The key is to be intentional about how you allocate your time, energy, and resources. By doing so, you create space for what truly matters, whether it's spending quality time with loved ones, pursuing meaningful goals, or simply finding moments of peace and reflection. Another tip is to cultivate mindfulness in your daily habits. Before making a decision, pause and ask yourself, is this aligned with my values? Am I acting out of impulse or genuine need? For instance, if you're tempted to buy something you don't really need, take a moment to reflect on whether it contributes to your long-term well-being or if it's just a fleeting desire. This simple act of self-awareness can help you make choices that support balance and integrity. The Stoics also emphasize the importance of moderation in our emotions. While it's natural to experience highs and lows, they believe that letting emotions dictate our actions could lead to poor decisions. Instead, they encouraged us to approach life with a calm and steady mindset, avoiding the extremes of excessive joy or despair. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions, it means acknowledging them without letting them control us. By practicing emotional moderation, we can respond to challenges with clarity and wisdom rather than reacting impulsively. Ultimately, the principle of avoiding excess and practicing moderation is about creating a life of balance and self-control. It's about recognizing that true fulfillment comes not from indulgence, but from living in alignment with our values and priorities. When we embrace moderation, we free ourselves from the chaos of excess and create a foundation for lasting integrity and peace. Next, we'll explore the 11th Stoic rule: treat others with kindness and respect. This principle reminds us of the importance of seeing others as part of a shared humanity, and how treating them well is essential for living with integrity. Now, let's shift our focus to the 11th Stoic rule: treat others with kindness and respect. At the heart of Stoic philosophy is the idea that we are all connected as part of a shared humanity. The Stoics believe that every person, regardless of their background or circumstances, deserves to be treated with dignity and compassion. This principle isn't just about being polite, it's about recognizing the inherent worth of others and understanding that how we treat people reflects our own character and integrity. Think about it this way: when we act with kindness and respect, we're not only improving the lives of those around us, but we're also strengthening our own moral foundation. The Stoics taught that our actions toward others are a mirror of our inner values. If we choose to be harsh, dismissive, or indifferent, we're not just harming others, we're also eroding our own sense of integrity. On the other hand, when we approach others with empathy and fairness, we cultivate a sense of harmony within ourselves and in our relationships. One of the key Stoic teachings here is the concept of sympatheia, which means the interconnectedness of all people. The Stoics believe that we are all part of a larger whole, like threads in a tapestry. When we treat others well, we contribute to the strength and beauty of that tapestry. But when we act selfishly or unkindly, we weaken the fabric of our shared humanity. This perspective encourages us to see beyond our individual needs and consider how our actions impact the collective good. So, how can we put this principle into practice? Start by practicing empathy. Try to see situations from another person's perspective, especially when conflicts arise. Instead of reacting with anger or judgment, pause and ask yourself, what might they be going through? How can I respond in a way that fosters understanding rather than division? This simple shift in mindset can transform how you interact with others, leading to more meaningful and respectful connections. Another way to embody this rule is by practicing active listening. When someone speaks, give them your full attention without interrupting or planning your response. This shows that you value their thoughts and feelings, which is a powerful way to demonstrate respect. Even small gestures like offering a kind word or helping someone in need can have a profound impact on both them and you. The Stoics also remind us that treating others well isn't always easy, especially when faced with difficult people or challenging situations. But they encourage us to rise above negativity and respond with grace. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil, but I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own." This perspective helps us approach even the most challenging interactions with patience and understanding. Ultimately, treating others with kindness and respect is about more than just being a good person. It's about living in alignment with Stoic virtues like justice and wisdom. When we choose to act with compassion, we not only uphold our integrity but also contribute to a more harmonious world. And in doing so, we create a legacy of kindness that extends far beyond ourselves. Next, we'll explore the 12th Stoic rule: reflect on your actions daily. This practice invites us to pause and evaluate how well our actions align with our values, ensuring that we continue to live with integrity and purpose. Now let's turn our attention to the 12th Stoic rule: reflect on your actions daily. This practice is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, offering a powerful tool for self-improvement and integrity. The Stoics believed that taking time each day to review our actions and decisions helps us stay aligned with our values and ensures that we're living with purpose and intention. The practice of evening reflection, often referred to as examen by the Stoics, involves setting aside a few quiet moments at the end of the day to look back on what you've done, how you've acted, and whether your choices reflect your highest principles. It's not about dwelling on mistakes or beating yourself up. It's about learning, growing, and making adjustments to live more authentically. To begin, find a quiet space where you can reflect without distractions. Start by asking yourself a few key questions. Did I act with kindness and respect today? Did I stay true to my values even when faced with challenges? Were there moments when I could have responded better or made a more virtuous choice? These questions help you assess your behavior and identify areas for improvement. Next, consider the decisions you made throughout the day. Reflect on whether they were driven by reason and virtue or by impulse and emotion. The Stoics emphasized the importance of acting with intention, so this step helps you recognize patterns in your behavior and understand what motivates your actions. If you notice that certain situations consistently lead to unvirtuous behavior, think about how you can approach them differently in the future. Another important aspect of this practice is acknowledging your successes. Celebrate the moments when you acted with integrity, showed courage, or demonstrated wisdom. Recognizing these positive actions reinforces your commitment to living virtuously and builds confidence in your ability to make ethical choices. Finally, use this reflection as an opportunity to set intentions for the next day. Think about how you can apply the lessons you've learned to improve your actions and decisions. Perhaps you want to practice more patience, show greater empathy, or approach challenges with a calmer mindset. By setting these intentions, you create a roadmap for living with greater integrity and purpose. The Stoics believed that this daily practice of reflection was essential for personal growth. As Seneca once wrote, "Each day, acquire something that will fortify you against poverty, against death, indeed against other misfortunes as well." By taking the time to reflect, you're not only strengthening your character, but also building resilience and clarity for the challenges ahead. Incorporating this practice into your routine doesn't have to be complicated. Even just 5 to 10 minutes of thoughtful reflection each evening can make a significant difference. Over time, you'll find that this habit helps you stay grounded, focused, and aligned with your values, ensuring that you continue to live with integrity and purpose. Next, we'll explore the 13th Stoic rule, be honest in all things. This principle challenges us to embrace truthfulness in every aspect of our lives, reinforcing the importance of honesty as a cornerstone of integrity. Now let's shift our focus to the 13th Stoic rule, be honest in all things. Honesty is more than just telling the truth. It's about living authentically and aligning your words, actions, and intentions with your deepest values. For the Stoics, honesty was a fundamental virtue, one that builds trust, strengthens relationships, and fosters a life of integrity. At its core, honesty is about transparency and accountability. It means being truthful not only with others but also with yourself. The Stoics believed that self-deception is one of the greatest obstacles to living a virtuous life. When we're honest with ourselves, we can clearly see our strengths, weaknesses, and areas for growth. This self-awareness is the foundation of personal development and ethical living. In personal relationships, honesty creates a strong bond of trust. Think about it: when someone is consistently truthful with you, even when it's difficult, you're more likely to respect and rely on them. For example, imagine a friend who tells you the hard truth about a mistake you've made, not to criticize but to help you grow. That kind of honesty, though uncomfortable in the moment, strengthens the relationship and shows genuine care. In professional settings, honesty is equally powerful. Leaders who are transparent and truthful inspire loyalty and respect from their teams. Consider a manager who openly communicates challenges and takes responsibility for mistakes. This kind of honesty fosters a culture of trust and collaboration, where everyone feels valued and motivated to do their best work. On the other hand, dishonesty, even in small ways, can erode trust and damage relationships over time. But honesty isn't always easy. There are moments when telling the truth requires courage, especially when it might lead to conflict or disappointment. The Stoics remind us that these moments are opportunities to practice virtue. By choosing honesty, even when it's difficult, we demonstrate integrity and respect for ourselves and others. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." To cultivate honesty in your own life, start by paying attention to your words and actions. Ask yourself, am I being truthful in this situation? Am I hiding something out of fear or convenience? When you catch yourself tempted to bend the truth, pause and consider the long-term consequences. Honesty might feel challenging in the moment, but it always leads to greater trust and respect in the long run. Another way to practice honesty is to embrace vulnerability. This means being open about your thoughts, feelings, and mistakes, even when it's uncomfortable. Vulnerability can feel risky, but it's also a powerful way to build deeper connections with others. When you're honest about your imperfections, you give others permission to do the same, creating an environment of mutual understanding and support. Finally, remember that honesty is a habit. It's something you can practice every day in small and big ways. Whether it's admitting a mistake, giving honest feedback, or simply being truthful in your conversations, each act of honesty strengthens your character and reinforces your commitment to living with integrity. As we move forward, we'll explore the 14th Stoic rule, let go of ego. This principle challenges us to embrace humility and authenticity, freeing ourselves from the need for external validation and allowing us to live with greater integrity. Now let's turn our attention to the 14th Stoic rule, let go of ego. At its heart, this principle is about embracing humility and freeing ourselves from the need for external validation. The Stoics believed that ego, or the inflated sense of self-importance, often leads us astray, clouding our judgment and distorting our actions. By letting go of ego, we can live more authentically and act with greater integrity. Ego often manifests as a desire for recognition, approval, or control. It pushes us to seek validation from others, to compare ourselves to those around us, and to prioritize our image over our values. But the Stoics remind us that these pursuits are ultimately empty. External validation is fleeting, and the opinions of others are beyond our control. When we tie our self-worth to these things, we risk losing sight of who we truly are and what truly matters. Humility, on the other hand, is about recognizing our place in the world. It's about understanding that we are part of something larger than ourselves and that our actions should reflect this awareness. The Stoics taught that humility doesn't mean thinking less of ourselves, it means thinking of ourselves less. It's about shifting our focus from what can I gain to how can I contribute. This mindset allows us to act with integrity, guided by our principles rather than our pride. Letting go of ego also helps us embrace authenticity. When we're not preoccupied with how others perceive us, we're free to be our true selves. We can speak our minds honestly, act in alignment with our values, and make decisions based on what's right rather than what's popular. This kind of authenticity builds trust and respect both with ourselves and with others. Think about the people you admire most. Chances are they're individuals who are genuine, humble, and unafraid to be themselves. Practicing humility doesn't mean denying our strengths or achievements. It simply means acknowledging that we're human with flaws and limitations, and that we're constantly learning and growing. The Stoics encouraged us to view ourselves with a balanced perspective, neither inflating our importance nor diminishing our worth. This balanced view helps us stay grounded and focused on what truly matters. One practical way to let go of ego is to practice gratitude. By regularly reflecting on what we're thankful for, we shift our focus away from what we lack or desire and toward what we already have. Gratitude reminds us of our interconnectedness and helps us appreciate the contributions of others. It's a powerful antidote to ego, fostering humility and contentment. Another way to cultivate humility is to embrace feedback and criticism. Instead of seeing criticism as a threat to our ego, we can view it as an opportunity for growth. The Stoics believed that feedback, even when it's uncomfortable, is a gift that helps us improve and align more closely with our values. By welcoming constructive criticism, we demonstrate humility and a commitment to self-improvement. Finally, letting go of ego requires us to focus on the present moment. Ego often pulls us into the past, where we dwell on past successes or failures, or into the future, where we worry about how we'll be perceived. But the Stoics taught that the only moment we truly have is the present. By staying grounded in the here and now, we can act with clarity and integrity, free from the distractions of ego. As we move forward, we'll explore the 15th Stoic rule, face challenges with courage. This principle reminds us that true strength lies not in avoiding difficulties, but in confronting them with resilience and determination. Now let's shift our focus to the 15th Stoic rule, face challenges with courage. Courage in Stoicism isn't about the absence of fear, it's about moving forward despite it. The Stoics believed that true strength lies in confronting adversity head-on, not in avoiding it. When we face challenges with bravery, we not only build resilience but also deepen our sense of integrity. Courage allows us to act in alignment with our values, even when the path ahead is uncertain or difficult. Think about the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who was born into slavery. Despite his circumstances, he chose to focus on what he could control: his mind and his actions. He didn't let his external conditions define him. Instead, he embraced his challenges with courage, using them as opportunities to grow and teach others. His life is a testament to the power of facing adversity with a steadfast spirit. Epictetus reminds us that courage isn't about being fearless. It's about choosing to act with purpose even when the odds are against us. Another inspiring example is Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who faced immense challenges during his reign: wars, political turmoil, and personal loss. Yet he consistently turned to Stoic principles to guide him. In his writings, he emphasized the importance of facing difficulties with courage and maintaining inner peace. Marcus Aurelius didn't shy away from his responsibilities or the hardships of leadership. Instead, he saw them as opportunities to practice virtue and strengthen his character. His life shows us that courage isn't just about grand gestures. It's about showing up every day, even when the weight of the world feels heavy. Courage also means embracing vulnerability. The Stoics understood that being courageous doesn't require us to be invincible. It's about acknowledging our fears and doubts while still choosing to move forward. This kind of courage fosters authenticity and integrity because it requires us to be honest with ourselves and others. When we face challenges with bravery, we demonstrate that our values are stronger than our fears. One practical way to cultivate courage is to reframe how we view obstacles. Instead of seeing them as threats, we can see them as opportunities to grow. The Stoics called this the obstacle is the way mindset. Every challenge we face is a chance to practice courage, to test our principles, and to become stronger. By adopting this perspective, we can approach difficulties with a sense of purpose and determination. Another way to build courage is through small, consistent actions. Courage isn't just about facing life's biggest challenges. It's also about the everyday choices we make. It's about speaking up when it's easier to stay silent, standing by our values when it's tempting to compromise, and taking responsibility when it's easier to blame others. These small acts of courage add up, shaping our character and reinforcing our integrity over time. As we reflect on the Stoic virtue of courage, let's remember that it's not about being fearless or invincible. It's about choosing to act with purpose and integrity, even when the road ahead is uncertain. Courage strengthens our character, deepens our sense of self, and allows us to live authentically. And as we move forward, we'll explore the 16th Stoic rule, practice empathy, which teaches us how understanding and connecting with others can further enrich our lives and strengthen our integrity. Now let's turn our attention to the 16th Stoic rule, practice empathy. At first glance, empathy might not seem like a core Stoic principle, but it's deeply woven into the philosophy. Stoicism teaches us to see others as part of a shared humanity, connected by our common experiences and struggles. By practicing empathy, we not only strengthen our relationships but also act with greater integrity and ethical clarity. The Stoics believed that every person is doing the best they can with the knowledge and resources they have. This perspective encourages us to approach others with understanding rather than judgment. When we take the time to see the world through someone else's eyes, we're better equipped to respond with kindness and fairness. Empathy, in this sense, becomes a tool for building bridges and fostering harmony in our interactions. Consider the Stoic philosopher Seneca, who often wrote about the importance of compassion and understanding. In his letters, he urged his readers to treat others with patience and kindness, even when they acted in ways that seemed unreasonable. Seneca recognized that everyone carries their own burdens and struggles, and he believed that empathy was key to living a virtuous life. By practicing empathy, we align ourselves with the Stoic ideal of justice, treating others as we would want to be treated. Empathy also plays a crucial role in our daily lives. Think about a time when someone was short-tempered or rude. Instead of reacting with anger, we can pause and consider what might be causing their behavior. Perhaps they're dealing with stress, exhaustion, or personal challenges. By choosing empathy over judgment, we not only diffuse tension but also create space for understanding and connection. This small shift in perspective can transform how we relate to others and how we navigate conflicts. Another way to practice empathy is through active listening. When we truly listen to someone without interrupting or planning our response, we show them that their thoughts and feelings matter. This simple act of presence can have a profound impact, making others feel valued and understood. In Stoic terms, active listening is a way of practicing the virtue of justice, as it honors the dignity of the person speaking. empathy also extends to how we respond to others' successes and failures. Instead of feeling envy when someone achieves something great, we can celebrate their accomplishments with genuine joy. Similarly, when someone faces a setback, we can offer support and encouragement rather than indifference or judgment. These empathetic actions not only strengthen our relationships but also reflect our commitment to living with integrity. One practical way to cultivate empathy is to reflect on our shared humanity. The Stoics often reminded themselves that everyone is subject to the same universal forces: joy, pain, love, and loss. By keeping this in mind, we can approach others with greater compassion and humility. Another way is to practice small acts of kindness, like offering a helping hand or a word of encouragement. These gestures, though simple, can have a ripple effect, fostering a sense of connection and goodwill. As we embrace the Stoic practice of empathy, we deepen our understanding of others and strengthen our own moral character. Empathy isn't just about feeling for others, it's about acting with kindness, fairness, and respect. And as we move forward, we'll explore the 17th Stoic rule: avoid complaining, which teaches us how focusing on solutions rather than complaints can further enhance our integrity and resilience. Now let's shift our focus to the 17th Stoic rule: avoid complaining. At its core, this principle is about redirecting our energy from what's wrong to what we can do to make things better. Complaining, while it might feel satisfying in the moment, often traps us in a cycle of negativity and helplessness. The Stoics believed that complaining doesn't solve problems, it only amplifies them. Instead, they encouraged us to focus on solutions, taking responsibility for our circumstances and acting with integrity. When we complain, we give away our power. We place the blame on external factors, other people, bad luck, or unfair situations, and in doing so, we forget that we still have control over how we respond. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus put it simply: it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By avoiding complaints, we reclaim our agency. We shift from being passive victims to active problem solvers, which is a hallmark of living with integrity. Think about a time when you faced a difficult situation. Maybe it was a project at work that didn't go as planned or a personal conflict that left you frustrated. It's natural to want to vent or express dissatisfaction, but the Stoics would ask, what good does that do? Complaining might offer temporary relief, but it doesn't move us closer to a resolution. Instead, focusing on solutions helps us take constructive action. It allows us to identify what's within our control and work toward improving the situation. This mindset also strengthens our relationships. When we avoid complaining, we create a more positive environment for ourselves and those around us. Constant negativity can drain the energy of a room, but a solution-oriented approach inspires collaboration and trust. People are more likely to respect and support someone who faces challenges with determination rather than frustration. In this way, avoiding complaints isn't just about personal growth, it's about fostering healthier, more productive interactions with others. One practical way to apply this rule is to reframe challenges as opportunities. Instead of saying, "This is unfair," try asking, "What can I learn from this?" or "How can I make the best of this situation?" This shift in perspective doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is fine. It means choosing to focus on what you can do rather than what you can't. It's about taking ownership of your response and using it to move forward. Another key aspect of avoiding complaints is practicing gratitude. When we focus on what's going well, even in the midst of difficulties, we cultivate a mindset of abundance rather than lack. Gratitude helps us see the bigger picture and reminds us that not everything is as bad as it might seem. It's a powerful antidote to the habit of complaining and a way to stay grounded in what truly matters. By embracing the Stoic principle of avoiding complaints, we take a significant step toward living with integrity. It's about choosing responsibility over blame, action over inaction, and positivity over negativity. And as we move forward, we'll explore the 18th Stoic rule, be content with what you have, which teaches us how finding satisfaction in the present moment can free us from the endless pursuit of more. Now let's turn our attention to the 18th Stoic rule, be content with what you have. This principle invites us to find satisfaction in the present moment, freeing ourselves from the endless chase for more. In a world that constantly pushes us to want more success, more possessions, more recognition, the Stoics remind us that true contentment comes from within. It's about appreciating what we already have rather than fixating on what we lack. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." This idea challenges us to rethink our relationship with desire. When we tie our happiness to external things, whether it's wealth, status, or approval, we set ourselves up for disappointment. These things are fleeting and often outside our control. Contentment, on the other hand, is a state of mind. It's about recognizing that we already have enough to live a meaningful and fulfilling life. One way to cultivate contentment is by practicing gratitude, as we touched on earlier. Taking time each day to reflect on what we're thankful for shifts our focus from what's missing to what's present. It could be as simple as appreciating a warm meal, a kind word from a friend, or the beauty of a sunset. Gratitude helps us see the abundance in our lives even when things aren't perfect. Another practical approach is to limit comparisons. In today's hyper-connected world, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others. Social media, in particular, often showcases only the highlights of people's lives, creating an illusion that everyone else has it better. The Stoics would urge us to resist this temptation. Instead of measuring our worth against others, we should focus on our own progress and values. Remember, the only person you need to be better than is the person you were yesterday. Mindfulness also plays a key role in cultivating contentment. By staying present, we can fully experience and appreciate the moments we often overlook. Whether it's savoring a cup of coffee or enjoying a quiet walk, mindfulness helps us find joy in the ordinary. It reminds us that life's richness isn't found in grand achievements but in the small, everyday moments. Finally, the Stoics encourage us to embrace simplicity. Living a life free from excess allows us to focus on what truly matters. This doesn't mean giving up all comforts, but rather being intentional about what we bring into our lives. Ask yourself, does this add value? Does it align with my values? By decluttering our physical and mental spaces, we create room for contentment to flourish. Being content with what we have doesn't mean settling or giving up on growth. It means finding peace in the present while still striving to improve. It's about recognizing that our worth isn't tied to external achievements but to the integrity with which we live our lives. As we move forward, we'll explore the 19th Stoic rule, speak only when necessary, which teaches us the power of thoughtful communication in maintaining integrity. Now let's explore the 19th Stoic rule, speak only when necessary. This principle highlights the importance of thoughtful communication and how it plays a crucial role in living with integrity. The Stoics believed that words carry weight, and speaking without purpose can lead to misunderstandings, conflicts, and even harm. By choosing our words carefully and speaking only when it adds value, we not only protect our integrity but also foster deeper connections with others. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This simple yet profound idea reminds us that listening is just as important as speaking, if not more so. When we take the time to truly listen, we gain a better understanding of others and the world around us. This, in turn, allows us to respond with greater clarity and purpose. Mindful speech begins with self-awareness. Before speaking, ask yourself, is what I'm about to say true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? These 3 questions, often attributed to the Stoics, serve as a powerful filter for our words. If the answer to any of these is no, it's a sign that silence might be the better choice. This practice not only prevents unnecessary conflict, but also ensures that our words align with our values. Another key aspect of mindful speech is avoiding gossip and negativity. The Stoics understood that engaging in harmful talk about others erodes trust and damages relationships. Instead, they encouraged focusing on constructive conversations that uplift and inspire. When we choose to speak positively, we create an environment of respect and integrity, both for ourselves and those around us. Practicing brevity is another way to speak with purpose. The Stoics valued concise communication, as it demonstrates clarity of thought and respect for the listener's time. Instead of rambling or over-explaining, aim to convey your message in as few words as possible. This not only makes your speech more impactful, but also reduces the risk of being misunderstood. Finally, the Stoics emphasized the importance of aligning our words with our actions. Integrity is not just about what we say, but also about how we live. When our speech reflects our values and commitments, we build trust and credibility. For example, if you promise to help a friend, follow through with your actions. This consistency between words and deeds is the hallmark of a person of integrity. Speaking only when necessary is not about staying silent all the time, but about choosing our words with care and intention. It's a practice that requires mindfulness, self-discipline, and a deep respect for the power of language. As we move forward, we'll delve into the 20th Stoic rule, Learn from Criticism, which explores how embracing feedback can strengthen our character and integrity. Moving forward, let's explore the 20th Stoic rule, Learn from Criticism. In a world where feedback can often feel like a personal attack, Stoicism offers a refreshing perspective. The Stoics believed that criticism, when approached with the right mindset, is not something to fear or resent, but rather an invaluable tool for growth and self-improvement. By learning to see criticism as an opportunity rather than a threat, we can strengthen our character and live with greater integrity. At the heart of this Stoic principle is the idea of separating our sense of self-worth from external opinions. The Stoics remind us that we cannot control what others say or think about us, but we can control how we respond. When criticism comes our way, instead of reacting defensively or emotionally, we can pause and ask ourselves, is there truth in this feedback? What can I learn from it? This shift in perspective transforms criticism from a source of pain into a pathway for growth. One practical strategy for handling criticism with grace is to practice detachment. This doesn't mean ignoring the feedback or dismissing it outright. Rather, it means stepping back emotionally and viewing the situation objectively. Imagine the criticism as a piece of data separate from your identity. By removing the emotional charge, you can assess the feedback more clearly and decide whether it's worth acting on. This approach not only preserves your integrity, but also demonstrates maturity and self-control. Another key Stoic practice is to focus on the intent behind the criticism. Not all feedback is delivered kindly, but that doesn't mean it lacks value. The Stoics encourage us to look beyond the tone or delivery and focus on the message itself. Is the person offering criticism trying to help us improve, even if their approach is flawed? If so, their words may hold valuable insights, even if they're hard to hear. By focusing on the intent, we can respond with gratitude rather than resentment. Responding to criticism with grace also involves humility. The Stoics valued humility as a virtue, recognizing that none of us are perfect. When we accept that we have room to grow, criticism becomes less threatening and more constructive. A simple yet powerful way to practice humility is to thank the person for their feedback, even if it stings. This small act of acknowledgement not only diffuses tension, but also reinforces your commitment to self-improvement. Finally, the Stoics remind us to use criticism as a mirror for self-reflection. After receiving feedback, take time to reflect on your actions and decisions. Ask yourself, did I act in alignment with my values? Is there room for improvement? This process of self-examination helps you grow stronger and more resilient, ensuring that your actions consistently reflect your integrity. Learning from criticism is not about accepting every piece of feedback as truth, but about approaching it with an open mind and a willingness to grow. By embracing this Stoic principle, we can turn even the harshest words into opportunities for self-improvement and live with greater authenticity and integrity. Next, we'll explore the 21st Stoic rule: avoid gossip and negativity, which delves into the power of our words and their impact on our character. Now, let's turn our attention to the 21st Stoic rule: avoid gossip and negativity. In a world where conversations often drift toward judgment and criticism, Stoicism offers a powerful reminder of the importance of guarding our words. The Stoics believed that our speech is a reflection of our character, and by avoiding gossip and negativity, we not only protect our integrity but also cultivate healthier relationships and a stronger sense of self-respect. At its core, gossip is more than just idle chatter. It's a form of harmful speech that can erode trust and damage connections. When we engage in gossip, we risk spreading misinformation, fueling unnecessary conflict, and undermining the dignity of others. The Stoics teach us that every word we speak carries weight, and by choosing to speak with kindness and purpose, we align our actions with our values. This principle isn't about avoiding difficult conversations, but about ensuring that our words contribute to understanding and harmony rather than division. One of the most profound impacts of gossip is its effect on our relationships. When we speak negatively about others, even in private, we create an atmosphere of mistrust. People begin to wonder what we might say about them when they're not around, and this can lead to strained or broken connections. The Stoics remind us that integrity means treating others with respect, even when they're not present. By refusing to participate in gossip, we demonstrate loyalty and build a reputation for being trustworthy and honorable. Gossip also takes a toll on our self-respect. Every time we indulge in negative talk, we chip away at our own sense of dignity. The Stoics believed that true self-respect comes from living in alignment with our principles, and this includes how we communicate. When we choose to avoid gossip, we affirm our commitment to living with integrity. It's a small but powerful act that reinforces our self-worth and strengthens our moral character. So, how can we put this Stoic principle into practice? Start by becoming more mindful of your conversations. Before speaking, ask yourself, is what I'm about to say true, necessary, and kind? If the answer to any of these questions is no, it's a sign to reconsider your words. Another practical step is to redirect conversations that veer into gossip. Instead of contributing to negativity, steer the discussion toward more constructive topics. This not only helps you stay true to your values, but also encourages others to do the same. The Stoics also encourage us to focus on our own actions rather than judging others. When we're tempted to gossip, it's often because we're diverting attention away from our own shortcomings. By turning inward and reflecting on how we can improve, we shift our energy toward personal growth rather than criticism. This mindset not only reduces the urge to gossip, but also fosters a more positive and productive outlook on life. Avoiding gossip and negativity isn't about being perfect, it's about striving to live with greater awareness and intention. By choosing our words carefully, we create a ripple effect of positivity that strengthens our relationships, enhances our self-respect, and deepens our commitment to living with integrity. Next, we'll explore the 22nd Stoic rule: take responsibility for your actions, which delves into the importance of accountability in building a life of integrity. Now, let's shift our focus to the 22nd Stoic rule: take responsibility for your actions. At the heart of Stoicism lies the belief that personal accountability is essential for living a life of integrity. The Stoics teach us that we cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can always control how we respond. And that begins with owning our choices, our mistakes, and their consequences. Taking responsibility isn't about self-blame or guilt. It's about recognizing our role in shaping our lives and using that awareness to grow stronger and more virtuous. Imagine this scenario: you've made a mistake at work that affects your team. The easy path might be to shift the blame or downplay the error, but the Stoic approach is different. It calls for honesty and courage. By admitting your mistake, apologizing sincerely, and working to make things right, you not only demonstrate integrity but also earn the respect of those around you. This kind of accountability builds trust and shows that you're someone who values truth and fairness over ego or convenience. Taking responsibility also means reflecting on our actions and learning from them. The Stoics practiced daily self-examination, asking themselves questions like, "Where did I fall short today?" or "How can I do better tomorrow?" This habit of reflection helps us identify patterns in our behavior and take proactive steps to improve. For instance, if you find yourself repeatedly losing your temper, acknowledging this tendency is the first step toward cultivating patience and self-control. By owning our flaws, we create opportunities for growth rather than staying stuck in cycles of denial or defensiveness. Another powerful example of taking responsibility comes from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who taught that we are the authors of our own lives. He believed that even in the face of adversity, we have the power to choose how we respond. Consider a situation where you've been wronged by someone else. While it's natural to feel anger or resentment, the Stoic approach encourages us to focus on our own actions rather than dwelling on the actions of others. By choosing to respond with grace and understanding, we take responsibility for our emotional well-being and maintain our integrity, even in difficult circumstances. Taking responsibility also extends to how we handle success. It's easy to credit ourselves when things go well, but the Stoics remind us to remain humble and acknowledge the role of external factors, such as luck or the support of others. This balanced perspective keeps us grounded and prevents arrogance from undermining our character. By owning both our successes and failures, we cultivate a sense of humility and gratitude that strengthens our integrity. So, how can we practice this Stoic rule in our daily lives? Start by being honest with yourself about your actions and their impact. When you make a mistake, resist the urge to deflect or justify. Instead, own it and take steps to make amends. Reflect regularly on your behavior, identifying areas where you can improve and celebrating progress where you've grown. And finally, approach every situation, whether good or bad, with a mindset of accountability. By doing so, you'll not only strengthen your integrity but also inspire those around you to do the same. Taking responsibility for our actions is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy and a powerful tool for building a life of integrity. It's about embracing the power we have to shape our character and our destiny, one choice at a time. Next, we'll explore the 23rd Stoic rule, practice patience, which delves into how this virtue helps us navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. Now, let's turn our attention to the 23rd Stoic rule, practice patience. In a world that often demands instant results and quick fixes, patience stands as a quiet but powerful virtue. The Stoics understood that life is filled with delays, setbacks, and moments of waiting, situations that test our resolve and challenge our sense of control. Patience in the Stoic sense isn't just about waiting. It's about maintaining composure, clarity, and integrity even when things don't go as planned. Think about a time when you were stuck in traffic or waiting in a long line. It's easy to feel frustrated or even angry in those moments, but the Stoic approach invites us to see these situations differently. Instead of resisting the delay, we can choose to accept it as part of life's natural rhythm. By practicing patience, we shift our focus from what we can't control, like the traffic or the line, to what we can control, our attitude and our response. This shift not only preserves our peace of mind, but also strengthens our integrity by aligning our actions with our values, even in frustrating circumstances. One of the most effective ways to cultivate patience is through mindfulness. The Stoics believed in staying present and fully engaged in the moment, rather than rushing ahead or dwelling on the past. When we're mindful, we're better able to observe our thoughts and emotions without being overwhelmed by them. For example, if you're feeling impatient while waiting for an important email, take a moment to breathe deeply and remind yourself that the outcome is beyond your control. This simple act of mindfulness can help you stay calm and focused rather than letting impatience dictate your mood. Another technique for building patience is to reframe challenges as opportunities for growth. The Stoics often viewed obstacles as chances to practice virtues like resilience and self-control. Imagine you're working on a project that's taking longer than expected. Instead of becoming frustrated, you can choose to see the extra time as an opportunity to refine your skills or deepen your understanding of the task. By embracing the process rather than fixating on the result, you not only develop patience but also strengthen your ability to handle future challenges with grace. The Stoic philosopher Seneca offers a powerful perspective on patience. He wrote, "Time heals what reason cannot." This reminds us that some situations simply require time to unfold, and no amount of rushing or worrying will change that. By trusting in the natural flow of time, we can let go of the need to control every outcome and instead focus on how we choose to respond. This mindset not only reduces stress but also helps us act with greater integrity, as we're no longer driven by impatience or anxiety. Practicing patience also means being kind to ourselves. It's easy to become impatient with our own progress, especially when we're striving to improve or achieve a goal. The Stoics encourage us to treat ourselves with the same compassion and understanding we would offer a friend. If you're struggling to master a new skill or break a bad habit, remind yourself that growth takes time. Celebrate small victories along the way and recognize that every step forward, no matter how small, is a step toward becoming the person you aspire to be. So, how can we bring more patience into our daily lives? Start by identifying situations that tend to trigger impatience, whether it's waiting in line, dealing with a slow internet connection, or navigating a difficult conversation. When these moments arise, pause and take a few deep breaths. Remind yourself that patience is a choice, and that by choosing it, you're strengthening your character and maintaining your integrity. Over time, these small acts of patience will add up, helping you navigate life's challenges with greater ease and resilience. Patience is more than just a virtue. It's a practice that aligns us with the Stoic ideal of living in harmony with nature. By embracing the natural pace of life and responding to delays and setbacks with calm and clarity, we not only preserve our integrity but also cultivate a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. Next, we'll explore the 24th Stoic rule, seek wisdom continuously, which delves into the importance of lifelong learning and how it enhances our ability to live with integrity. Now, as we move forward, let's explore the 24th Stoic rule, seek wisdom continuously. The Stoics believed that wisdom was not a destination but a journey, a lifelong pursuit that enriches our understanding of the world and ourselves. In a world that often prioritizes quick fixes and instant gratification, the Stoic commitment to continuous learning stands as a powerful reminder of the value of growth and self-improvement. Seeking wisdom isn't just about accumulating knowledge, it's about developing the clarity and insight needed to live with integrity and purpose. At its core, Stoic wisdom is about understanding what truly matters in life. It's about distinguishing between what is within our control and what isn't, and aligning our actions with our deepest values. This kind of wisdom doesn't come overnight. It requires curiosity, humility, and a willingness to question our assumptions. The Stoics saw every experience, whether success or failure, as an opportunity to learn and grow. By embracing this mindset, we can transform even the most challenging moments into lessons that strengthen our character and deepen our integrity. One practical way to seek wisdom is through reading. The Stoics were avid readers, drawing inspiration from philosophy, history, and literature. Marcus Aurelius, for example, kept a journal filled with reflections on his readings and experiences, which later became the timeless work Meditations. Today, we have access to an incredible wealth of knowledge through books, articles, and even online courses. Whether it's diving into the works of ancient philosophers or exploring modern insights on ethics and personal growth, reading can expand our perspective and help us make wiser decisions. Another powerful tool for seeking wisdom is reflection. The Stoics practiced daily reflection as a way to review their actions, thoughts, and decisions. This habit allows us to identify areas where we can improve and celebrate moments where we acted with integrity. A simple way to incorporate this into your routine is to set aside a few minutes each evening to ask yourself questions like, "What did I learn today?" Or, "How did I align my actions with my values?" Over time, this practice can help you develop greater self-awareness and a deeper understanding of what it means to live wisely. Mentorship is another valuable resource for continuous learning. The Stoics often sought guidance from teachers and mentors who could challenge their thinking and offer new perspectives. In today's world, mentorship can take many forms, whether it's finding a trusted advisor, joining a community of like-minded individuals, or even learning from the experiences of others through podcasts and interviews. Surrounding yourself with people who inspire and challenge you can accelerate your growth and help you stay committed to your journey of wisdom. The pursuit of wisdom also involves embracing curiosity and staying open to new ideas. The Stoics believed that the world is constantly changing, and so are we. By remaining curious, we can adapt to new challenges and opportunities with flexibility and resilience. This might mean exploring unfamiliar topics, engaging in meaningful conversations, or even stepping outside your comfort zone to try something new. Each of these experiences contributes to your growth and helps you live with greater integrity. Finally, the Stoics remind us that seeking wisdom is not a solitary endeavor. It's about contributing to the greater good and using what we learn to benefit others. When we share our knowledge and insights, we not only reinforce our own understanding but also inspire those around us to grow. This sense of purpose and connection is at the heart of living with integrity. So, how can you begin your journey of continuous learning? Start by setting aside time each day to read, reflect, or engage in meaningful conversations. Seek out resources that challenge your thinking and inspire you to grow. And remember, wisdom isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Every step you take toward greater understanding brings you closer to living a life of integrity and purpose. As we continue, we'll delve into the 25th Stoic rule, be present in the moment, which explores how mindfulness and presence can help us act with clarity and integrity in every aspect of our lives. Now, let's turn our attention to the 25th Stoic rule, be present in the moment. In a world filled with distractions and constant demands on our attention, the Stoic practice of mindfulness offers a powerful way to reconnect with what truly matters. Being present isn't just about focusing on the here and now. It's about cultivating a deeper awareness of our thoughts, actions, and surroundings so we can act with clarity and integrity in every moment. The Stoics understood that much of our stress and anxiety comes from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. By bringing our attention back to the present, we can free ourselves from these mental burdens and make decisions that align with our values. Mindfulness, in this sense, is a tool for living with intention. It allows us to pause, reflect, and choose how we respond to life's challenges rather than reacting impulsively. One practical way to practice mindfulness is through focused breathing. This simple exercise can be done anywhere at any time. Start by taking a deep breath in, holding it for a moment, and then slowly exhaling. As you do this, bring your attention to the sensation of your breath, how it feels as it enters and leaves your body. If your mind starts to wander, gently guide it back to your breath. Even just a few minutes of this practice can help you feel more grounded and centered. Another effective technique is the Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. While this might sound negative, it's actually a way to prepare yourself mentally for challenges so you can face them with calm and clarity. Take a moment to imagine a difficult situation you might encounter and visualize yourself handling it with composure and integrity. By mentally rehearsing your response, you'll be better equipped to stay present and act wisely when the moment arrives. Journaling is another powerful tool for staying present. The Stoics often used writing as a way to reflect on their thoughts and experiences. Set aside a few minutes each day to jot down your observations, feelings, and any lessons you've learned. This practice not only helps you process your emotions, but also keeps you focused on the present moment. Over time, it can deepen your self-awareness and strengthen your ability to live with integrity. Mindfulness also extends to how we engage with others. When you're in a conversation, try to give the other person your full attention. Put away distractions, make eye contact, and truly listen to what they're saying. This kind of presence not only improves your relationships, but also helps you respond thoughtfully and authentically, rather than reacting out of habit or impulse. Finally, the Stoics remind us that being present is about appreciating the small, everyday moments that often go unnoticed. Take a moment to savor your morning coffee, notice the beauty of nature during a walk, or simply pause to appreciate the people around you. These moments of presence can bring a sense of peace and fulfillment, grounding you in the here and now. By practicing mindfulness, we can cultivate a deeper connection to ourselves and the world around us. It's a way to live with greater clarity, purpose, and integrity, one moment at a time. As we move forward, we'll explore the 26th Stoic rule, avoid envy and jealousy, which delves into how focusing on our own path can help us live with greater authenticity and peace. Now, let's shift our focus to the 26th Stoic rule, avoid envy and jealousy. In a world where social media and constant comparisons can easily pull us into a cycle of dissatisfaction, Stoicism offers a refreshing perspective. The Stoics believed that envy and jealousy are not only distractions but also barriers to living a life of integrity and inner peace. When we constantly measure ourselves against others, we lose sight of our own values and goals, creating unnecessary turmoil in our minds. At its core, envy stems from a misplaced focus on what others have or achieve, rather than appreciating our own journey. The Stoics remind us that everyone's path is unique, and comparing ourselves to others is not only unproductive but also harmful to our sense of self. Instead of looking outward, Stoicism encourages us to turn inward and focus on what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and choices. By doing so, we cultivate a sense of contentment and authenticity that isn't swayed by external validation. One practical way to avoid envy is to practice gratitude. When we take time to reflect on what we already have, our strengths, relationships, and accomplishments, we shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude helps us recognize that our worth isn't determined by how we stack up against others, but by how we live in alignment with our own principles. This simple yet powerful practice can dissolve feelings of jealousy and replace them with a sense of fulfillment. Another Stoic technique is to remind ourselves of the impermanence of external achievements. Fame, wealth, and status are fleeting, and placing too much value on them can lead to dissatisfaction. The Stoics teach us to focus on what truly matters: our character and how we treat others. By prioritizing virtues like wisdom, courage, and kindness, we build a foundation of integrity that isn't shaken by the successes or failures of those around us. It's also helpful to reframe how we view others' achievements. Instead of seeing them as threats or sources of envy, we can choose to see them as inspiration. The Stoics believed in the interconnectedness of humanity, and celebrating others' successes can foster a sense of community rather than competition. When we genuinely appreciate the accomplishments of others, we free ourselves from the weight of comparison and open the door to collaboration and growth. Finally, Stoicism teaches us to focus on progress, not perfection. Each of us is on a unique journey, and the goal isn't to outshine others but to become the best version of ourselves. By setting personal goals and measuring our progress against our own standards, we create a sense of purpose and direction that isn't influenced by external benchmarks. This mindset not only fosters integrity but also brings a deep sense of inner peace, knowing that we are living authentically and true to our values. By avoiding envy and jealousy, we free ourselves from the trap of comparison and embrace a life of clarity, purpose, and integrity. As we move forward, we'll explore the 27th Stoic rule, Act with Justice, which highlights the importance of fairness and ethical behavior in our interactions with others. Now, let's turn our attention to the 27th Stoic rule, Act with Justice. Justice, in Stoic philosophy, is one of the four cardinal virtues alongside wisdom, courage, and temperance. It's about treating others with fairness, respect, and kindness, recognizing that every person is part of a shared humanity. Acting with justice isn't just about following laws or societal norms. It's about making ethical choices that reflect our commitment to integrity and the well-being of others. At its heart, justice is about seeing others as equals, deserving of the same dignity and consideration we expect for ourselves. The Stoics believed that every individual is connected through a universal reason, and this interconnectedness calls us to act in ways that uplift and support one another. When we act justly, we contribute to a sense of harmony and trust in our relationships, communities, and society as a whole. One practical way to embody justice in everyday life is through small, intentional acts of fairness. For example, if you're in a position to make a decision that affects others, take the time to consider their perspectives and needs. This could mean advocating for a colleague who deserves recognition, standing up for someone who's being treated unfairly, or simply listening to a friend without judgment. These actions, though seemingly small, ripple outward, creating a culture of respect and equity. Another aspect of justice is holding ourselves accountable for our actions. The Stoics emphasized the importance of self-reflection, encouraging us to examine whether our choices align with our values. If we realize we've acted unfairly, the just response is to acknowledge our mistake, make amends, and strive to do better. This commitment to accountability not only strengthens our integrity but also builds trust with those around us. Justice also extends to how we treat those who may have wronged us. The Stoics taught that responding to harm with kindness and understanding rather than retaliation is a mark of true strength. By choosing to act with fairness even in difficult situations, we demonstrate our commitment to virtue and set an example for others to follow. In the workplace, justice might look like ensuring that everyone has an equal opportunity to succeed, regardless of their background or circumstances. It could mean speaking up against discrimination or creating an environment where diverse voices are heard and valued. In our personal lives, justice might involve treating family members with patience and empathy, even when tensions arise. Ultimately, acting with justice is about recognizing the inherent worth of every person and striving to create a world where fairness and compassion prevail. It's a reminder that our actions, no matter how small, have the power to shape the world around us. By prioritizing justice in our daily lives, we not only live with integrity but also inspire others to do the same. As we continue, we'll explore the 28th Stoic rule, be resilient in the face of failure, which teaches us how to turn setbacks into opportunities for growth and strength. Now let's shift our focus to the 28th Stoic rule, be resilient in the face of failure. In Stoic philosophy, failure is not seen as an endpoint but as a stepping stone to growth and self-improvement. The Stoics believed that setbacks are inevitable, but how we respond to them defines our character and integrity. Resilience, in this context, is about embracing failure as a teacher rather than a tormentor, allowing it to shape us into stronger, wiser individuals. Consider the story of Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers and a Roman emperor. Despite his immense power, he faced countless challenges, from political betrayals to military defeats. Yet he approached each failure with a Stoic mindset, viewing them as opportunities to practice virtue and deepen his understanding of life. In his writings, he often reminded himself that obstacles are not barriers but opportunities to exercise patience, courage, and wisdom. This perspective allowed him to lead with integrity, even in the face of adversity. Resilience, as the Stoics teach, begins with accepting that failure is a natural part of life. It's not something to be feared or avoided, but something to be met with curiosity and openness. When we fail, we gain valuable insights about ourselves and the world around us. For instance, a failed project at work might reveal areas where we need to improve our skills or collaborate more effectively. A strained relationship might teach us the importance of communication and empathy. By reframing failure as a source of wisdom, we can approach it with a sense of purpose rather than despair. Another key aspect of resilience is maintaining perspective. The Stoics often reminded themselves of the bigger picture, recognizing that most failures are temporary and insignificant in the grand scheme of life. Epictetus, a former slave-turned-Stoic teacher, famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This idea encourages us to focus on our response to failure rather than the failure itself. By doing so, we reclaim our power and agency, choosing to act with integrity even when things don't go as planned. Practical steps to build resilience include reflecting on past failures to identify lessons learned and setting realistic expectations for ourselves. It's also helpful to cultivate a support system of friends, mentors, or communities who can offer guidance and encouragement during tough times. Additionally, practicing gratitude can shift our focus from what went wrong to what we still have, fostering a sense of hope and resilience. Resilience also involves letting go of perfectionism. The Stoics understood that striving for perfection often leads to unnecessary stress and disappointment. Instead, they advocated for progress over perfection, encouraging us to celebrate small victories and learn from our mistakes. This mindset not only reduces the fear of failure, but also allows us to approach challenges with a sense of curiosity and determination. In the end, being resilient in the face of failure is about embracing the Stoic belief that every experience, good or bad, contributes to our growth. By viewing setbacks as opportunities to practice virtue and strengthen our character, we not only live with integrity but also inspire those around us to do the same. As we move forward, we'll explore the 29th Stoic rule, practice humility, which teaches us the power of staying grounded and authentic in our pursuit of a meaningful life. Now, let's turn our attention to the 29th Stoic rule, practice humility. In a world that often celebrates self-promotion and ego, Stoicism offers a refreshing perspective on the value of humility. The Stoics believed that humility is not about diminishing oneself, but about recognizing our place in the larger tapestry of life. It's about staying grounded, authentic, and connected to our shared humanity. By practicing humility, we not only cultivate integrity but also foster deeper, more meaningful relationships with others. Humility, in the Stoic sense, begins with self-awareness. It's about acknowledging our limitations and understanding that no matter how much we achieve or learn, there is always more to discover. This mindset keeps us open to growth and prevents us from becoming arrogant or complacent. For example, consider the life of Epictetus, who, despite being one of the most influential Stoic teachers, lived a simple life and often reminded his students that true wisdom lies in recognizing how little we truly know. His humility allowed him to teach with authenticity and inspire countless others to live with integrity. Practicing humility also means giving credit where it's due and recognizing the contributions of others. In our daily lives, this could look like acknowledging a colleague's hard work on a team project or expressing gratitude to a friend who supported us during a difficult time. These small acts of humility not only strengthen our relationships but also reinforce our commitment to fairness and justice, two core Stoic virtues. Another way to practice humility is by listening more and speaking less. The Stoics valued thoughtful communication and believed that true wisdom often comes from listening to others rather than dominating conversations. By actively listening, we show respect for others' perspectives and create space for mutual understanding. This approach not only reflects humility, but also helps us make more informed and ethical decisions. Humility also involves embracing vulnerability. The Stoics understood that admitting our mistakes and asking for help are not signs of weakness but acts of courage. When we own up to our errors and seek guidance, we demonstrate a commitment to growth and integrity. For instance, imagine a leader who openly acknowledges a misstep and takes responsibility for its consequences. This act of humility not only earns respect but also sets a powerful example for others to follow. In practical terms, cultivating humility can start with small, intentional actions. It might mean celebrating others' successes without envy, offering help without expecting recognition, or simply reminding ourselves that we are part of something greater than our individual achievements. These practices help us stay grounded and focused on what truly matters. Ultimately, humility is a cornerstone of living with integrity. It keeps us connected to our values, fosters genuine relationships, and reminds us that our worth is not defined by external validation but by the quality of our character. As we move forward, we'll explore the 30th and final Stoic rule: leave a legacy of integrity, which ties together all the principles we've discussed and invites us to consider the lasting impact of our actions. Now, as we approach the final Stoic rule, let's reflect on the profound idea of leaving a legacy of integrity. The Stoics believed that our lives are not just about the moments we experience, but about the lasting impact we leave behind. Living with integrity isn't just about how we act in the present. It's about how our actions ripple outward, influencing others and shaping the world long after we're gone. This rule invites us to consider the bigger picture. What kind of mark do we want to leave on the world, and how can we ensure that our legacy reflects our deepest values? At its core, leaving a legacy of integrity is about consistency. It's not about grand, one-time gestures, but the small, everyday choices that define who we are. Think of it like building a mosaic. Each act of honesty, kindness, and courage is a tiny piece that, over time, creates a beautiful and enduring image. For instance, Marcus Aurelius, one of history's most renowned Stoic leaders, didn't just focus on ruling an empire, he focused on ruling himself. His daily commitment to virtue, fairness, and self-discipline left a legacy that continues to inspire millions centuries later. His life reminds us that integrity is built one decision at a time. But how do we ensure our legacy is one of integrity? It starts with aligning our actions with our values, even when no one is watching. It's about doing the right thing, not for recognition or reward, but because it's who we are. This might mean standing up for what's fair, even when it's unpopular, or choosing honesty over convenience, even when it's difficult. These small acts may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they accumulate into a life of authenticity and trustworthiness. Another key aspect of leaving a legacy of integrity is the way we treat others. The Stoics emphasize that our relationships are a reflection of our character. By treating others with respect, empathy, and fairness, we not only enrich their lives but also set an example for how they might treat others in turn. Imagine the impact of a teacher who consistently encourages their students, a parent who models patience and kindness, or a friend who always shows up when it matters most. These actions create a chain reaction of goodwill that extends far beyond our immediate circle. Leaving a legacy also means being mindful of the lessons we pass on. The Stoics believed in the power of teaching by example. Whether we're mentoring a colleague, guiding a child, or simply sharing our experiences with a friend, we have the opportunity to inspire others to live with integrity. This doesn't require grand speeches or dramatic gestures. It's often the quiet, consistent demonstration of our values that leaves the deepest impression. Finally, a legacy of integrity is rooted in the idea of service. The Stoics taught that we are part of a larger community, and our actions should contribute to the greater good. This might mean volunteering our time, supporting a cause we believe in, or simply being a reliable presence in the lives of those around us. When we focus on how we can serve others, we create a legacy that transcends our individual lives and becomes part of something much larger. As we conclude our exploration of the 30 Stoic rules for living with integrity, remember that your legacy is being written every day. It's not about perfection, but about progress, about striving to live in alignment with your values and making choices that reflect the best of who you are. By embracing these principles, you not only enrich your own life, but also leave a lasting impact that inspires others to do the same. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Stoic wisdom. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more insights on living a life of integrity. Until next time, take care and keep striving to live with purpose and virtue. As we wrap up this journey through the 30 Stoic rules for living with integrity, let's take a moment to reflect on the timeless wisdom we've explored. From focusing on what we can control to leaving a legacy of integrity, these principles offer a roadmap for living a life rooted in virtue, authenticity, and purpose. Each rule, whether it's practicing gratitude, embracing challenges with courage, or treating others with kindness, serves as a reminder that integrity isn't just about grand gestures. It's about the small, consistent choices we make every day. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its practicality. These aren't abstract ideas reserved for philosophers. They're tools we can all use to navigate life's challenges with clarity and strength. By aligning our actions with our values, we not only build a life of integrity for ourselves, but also inspire those around us to do the same. Think of it as a ripple effect. Your commitment to honesty, resilience, and fairness can influence others in ways you may never fully see, creating a legacy that extends far beyond your own life. Now it's your turn to take these principles and make them your own. Start small, perhaps by reflecting on your day each evening or practicing gratitude in moments of difficulty. Over time, these habits will become second nature, guiding you toward a life of deeper meaning and fulfillment. And remember, living with integrity isn't about being perfect. It's about striving to be better one step at a time. We'd love to hear how these Stoic rules resonate with you. Have you tried applying any of these principles in your own life? What challenges have you faced, and what lessons have you learned? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your story might just inspire someone else on their journey. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more insights like these. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Stoic wisdom. Until next time, take care and keep striving to live with purpose, virtue, and integrity.